women in every corner of the globe are doing some wonders. So today we have with us a passionate, young, dynamic, and talented lady who is very much into business. She leads Odisha's largest media conglomerate, Eastern Media Limited. Every household name for newspaper is, you can say, if you asked about a newspaper, the synonym of it is Sambal. Every time we switch on our televisions, we can see the news flashing and it's Connect TV in front of us. And also to keep us entertained, the radio chocolate, which is predominantly for Odia language, is entertaining each and every Odisha persons in the state. So let me take the privilege to welcome the lady who is behind this. So she's none other than Mrs. Tanaya Patnaik, Executive Director at Eastern Media Limited. I welcome you, madam, to the IIMT Open House Women in Management.
Thank you so much.
You have never shied away from the media, as we are very much aware that you are completely a media person, but still you have never shied out away from the media to express yourself, maybe in the Women Business Mela, which was held, and I have heard directly from you how you have visited each and every stall personally to check out how the women are performing, whether their business, they are doing it satisfactorily or not. And also, we have seen it that you have visited the cancer patients. So these are the things that we could know something about you, but we would like to know more and more about you with some few questions. If you give me the permission to ask you few questions, that will be very, we will be very glad to know about you, ma'am.
So first of all, thank you for having this conversation with me. Very, very happy to do this. And yes, happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you, ma'am. So starting with the first basic question, as we would like to ask each and every person, that is, how was your journey so far?
I would say that my journey, although it's been 33 years for me, and I don't define my journey as my professional journey. I define my journey as my journey on this planet. So I think it has been a beautiful journey so far. There have been a lot of learnings, but again, I feel it's only beginning. And if you, and there's a long, long way to go, a lot of things to do, many dreams, many aspirations. So I have been working with the Sambad group professionally for the last 12 years. And that has been a very, very fulfilling experience. So here I would like to mention that, you know, although I've been working for 12 years, because this company has been founded by my father. So since I was a child, I've always heard the word press. You know, where is my dad going? He's going to press. Where's my mom going? She's going to press. So I didn't understand even what press was. I just knew that press and Sambad is something. But then, you know, of course, as I grew up, I got to know more about the business. And in 2010, after completing my graduation, I joined the company. I started working with Radio Chocolate first. And I'm so glad I did that. Otherwise, you know, I would have been really intimidated with the whole thing. But Radio Chocolate, FM radio, there was fun, there was music, there was good energy, there was a young team. And, you know, then slowly I progressed into the other verticals like Kanak News, Sambad Digital, etc. So I would say it's been a great, great journey so far. There have been, like I said, there have been a lot of learnings, a lot of opportunities in media to associate and do various things, like you mentioned, the women's business Mela, or, you know, the other entire area of activities that Sambad Group does. I think it has been an excellent, excellent opportunity for me to be associated with so many things, so many other groups, so many individuals, other organizations, and, you know, be a little part of what they are also doing. So I think I'm really, really grateful to God for all the blessings.
So, ma'am, who has motivated you to follow your father's footsteps? Is there any, your father has motivated you, or your mom, anything from their side?
there is no easy or particular answer to this, because I think a lot of things motivate you to do something. My father definitely has been a motivation, the kind of involvement he has with media, and the kind of a culture, the kind of organization he has built in the last 38 years. It's been an amazing story, and my father definitely motivates me. But I think it's not any person that motivates me every single day. I think what motivates me, if I had to put it very simply, I would say my privilege motivates me every day. I'm very, very conscious of my privilege. I think I'm super conscious of my privilege. I don't even know whether I would have been sitting here if I wasn't my father's daughter. So I'm very aware of my privilege, and I feel that this is such a great opportunity to do something good, uh, and create something, make a noticeable difference, make a change, do something really good. So I think I use my privilege to create a positive thing. And I think that motivates
So
me, not to let go of this opportunity, to make good use of this opportunity and just do my best every day.
yes, ma'am, that it is very much visible in front of us that how much you're working towards the women and everything. So on the work front, can I ask you a question regarding, can you please brief us the experience with the making of the play, which was a success, and moreover, it was based on our culture and tradition, Ahe Nila Soila. How was the
Um,
experience with that?
Nila Soila has been the greatest blessing of my life. I mean, that's the way I can put it. It is a play, it's a stage play, a theatrical performance. And I absolutely have, or had even now, no idea about how a play works, how a play is produced, how the scripting is finalized, and how the casting is done, little things about production, because honestly, we have newspaper, print, we have print, radio, uh, 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 digital, television. We also have outdoor opera. I'm not very, very involved with that, but play was something very new to me. And I got this idea after reading this book, and the story was so, so, so amazing. And I thought that, our history, the history of Odisha, has such rich episodes, and, such rich stories. So, these are the things which should be brought, maybe on the big screen or on the stage, or, in some way. And I think that is something which will really connect with our youth, who can get to know more about their culture, about their history. So again, like I said, the play was an absolutely fantastic experience. We put in a lot of effort, and to be honest, we did not even know Kimiti Haba, Kaun Haba, how would it even turn out? But it was accepted very, very, very well. From one show, now we've already done 15 shows, and we have plans to do more. And I think that also proves the point that, when I started, I actually did not know anything about drama. I did not know anything about play. But I involved myself in it completely. I give 6 months of my life to that. And, I think this just proves the point that if you really give it your everything, and if you really, really, really put in everything, give a lot of effort, get into the thing, and do it, then you will definitely get results. So the result has been very, very fulfilling and satisfying.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, another question regarding this is, we can see that the present scenario is completely on the web series. Like mostly the people are into web series and also. So in this time also, during this phase also, how did you think of bringing the stage show Ahe Nilo Sar? That did you expect that there will be a positive response?
No, see, whenever you're undertaking any venture, any new thing, you obviously expect obviously, expect a response for that, that's fine. So obviously we were expecting a positive response, but and all our efforts were driven towards that. But there was nothing in mind that, web series are happening, or like we'll get this particular response or that. Like I said, it was completely a whim, completely on a fantasy. I would say it was very, very impulsive. The story of Gajapati Maharaja Ramachandra Deva II, who was the Gajapati of Khorda during the 18th century. His story and the attack on Jagannath temple. It was just so fascinating. I wanted to do that on screen. So at that point of time, I did not really think that what the dynamics are going to be. I just thought, I didn't even think anything. We just went ahead and did it. And because it was centered around Lord Jagannath, and because it was
you could get the blessings of Lord Jagannath.
So we did not also want to do it as types. We actually wanted to create a quality product without keeping anything in mind. We didn't even know that we're going to be doing so many shows. We're going to be going houseful. We had nothing in mind. Obviously, we wanted to create something good. We wanted people to come and watch it. But that it will be such a success was, nothing was pre-thought or pre-planned. But yeah.
That was a success.
Yeah.
Ma'am, the work culture of almost all the sectors had to undergo a drastic change during this pandemic times. What were the challenges that you have faced with Sambad, being the print media?
So, you mean with the pandemic, right?
During the pandemic, ma'am.
During the pandemic, yeah. As with other organizations, it was very tough, very challenging, especially when, in media, it is not very easy to do a work from home situation unless you have the infrastructure ready way beyond. So with the pandemic, like everybody else, it was a shock that it came in as such a, big impact, and we were not at all prepared. So, but not only us, but I think all the journalists of the entire country, the entire world, Odisha, India, everywhere, everybody showed immense resilience. So, slowly we built a system where, most of the editorial staff could work from home. It wasn't easy, but yes, I think it was great teamwork, lot of cooperation. But, there were situations also where, we were working with, 30 to 40% of our staff. And we tried to create a system where we would be there for our people and, try to help them with be it testing or getting admitted in the hospitals. We lost, 7 to 8 of our the Sambad family members. And it was not a great time. It was a very stressful period, especially in media, when you're sitting there on the desk and, constantly you're writing about it, or, you're showing it on TV. I'm sure it was a lot of stress for journalists all over the world, but I think they showed, immense spirit, great resilience. And yeah, it was very challenging at that point of time for us personally, because, a lot of our people were in the hospital. They were fighting for their lives. Some of them lost their lives. So emotionally, it was very, very challenging. And also, getting around the whole process of creating a work from home system, because we were never used to that. And I think IT, yes, it is easier to work from home, the marketing and sales, that's something you can do virtually. But, getting a newspaper out or running a channel without people physically sitting there was quite a bit of a challenge. I mean, obviously, we could not do it completely. So we were working with less staff. People were working more hours. They were working 3 days a week. And then, we had a lot of things going at that time.
Okay. So, ma'am, you have been in this profession since last 12 years, as you have said. So you might have seen women's place or women's working style different over a period of time. How was it a decade ago, and how is it now?
I think the biggest change, I would say, and the best thing to happen, because I think we should always focus on the positives, because negatives, again, the list is there. the list will remain, be it, your pay gaps, be it, underrepresentation of women, be it in middle management, senior management, everywhere. But I think the positive thing is that more and more women are working. Uh, the biggest change I see is that parents want their daughters to get a job. Um, the in-laws are very, very
Be
happy to
independent.
let the bahus go and work. I think that is the biggest change, and that's something so heartwarming. And I think that is what we need. And in terms of how women work, I think women work as well as men. I mean, I don't see any difference. In fact, a lot of times, a lot of team leaders would agree that women are the better performers. They are more dedicated. They manage their time better because they're just so used to managing their time all the time, with the family, with the kids.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
even at work, that's a skill which, I think women have. They manage their time well. They are more efficient. They are very quick learners. So I don't think there is any reason, I don't think any person would be unhappy or dissatisfied with the performance of a woman employee. But that's what they just need, an opportunity. Women need opportunities. Women need people to back them up. That initial support from family, especially, I feel it's very, very important. Um,
Important.
when you go back home, you don't want to see your mother-in-law with a grumpy face. You don't, that vibe is there. Like, just be happy. But I think that is happening. A lot of women earlier,
Yes.
they would work, they would come back, and they would always be that snide comment, or someone just sitting and giving off, not so great vibes. That untold thing that, now get to work. Bahut ho gaya kaam. Now all the
Get back.
household work is
Get
pending.
back to the kitchen.
Yeah, they have to get back to the kitchen, but it's easier to get back to the kitchen if there's a happy atmosphere around. Or if someone says, oh, you must be tired, let me give you a cup of tea, then we can make the chapatis together. I think these little things make a big difference, but I think that's changing. And more women at workplace, more women coming to work will change the entire thing. More women coming to work would mean more women again being in boardrooms, more women being in senior management positions. Now, more women being in those positions would mean women's problems would be understood. The policies would, keep women in focus, not in focus, but take into consideration women's needs at work. So I think it's all connected, and it all starts with more women joining the workforce.
Ma'am, when you have just said that there is no difference between the performance of man and the women. So I don't want to get into any controversial topics now, but as we say that women are a good listeners and communicators. So do you think that that is having any impact on the work of the women? The
I'm sure.
performance
So
of the women?
I don't like to generalize. I'm sure a lot of men would also be good listeners or communicators. But be it a man or a woman, it is very important to know what your skill is, what your positives are, also what your negatives are, or so that it just always helps to be aware of your pros and cons, so that you can work with it and work towards it. So I don't know. I don't know if women are great listeners or not. I know women who are great listeners. I know women who are not great listeners as well. But like I said, women are good workers. I can just say that they need to be given an opportunity. A lot of times, women are not given opportunities, thinking she's not given that much effort. See the ঘর পড়াইব তার ছুয়া দেওয়া খারাপ হলে সে পড়াইব obviously জীব ছুয়া দেওয়া খারাপ হলে জীব
Obviously.
obviously,
Huh.
but ସବୁବେଳେ কোন ছুয়ারা দেওয়া খারাপ হবে কি? So because of these things, oh, she's good, but I think she'll get married in the next 2 years. What if she quits? She's married now, she'll have a kid in the next 2 years. So thinking of all these things, a lot of managers do not give that opportunity to women, assuming, we assume that she will get married and she will go. And all this is also, from their experience. I'm sure there have been women who have left their jobs after getting married. I'm sure there have been women who have left their jobs after having a baby. But those things are changing. And I think, again, like I said, there needs to be an entire tribe behind any successful person, not only a woman. Like even a successful man is, I'm sure, supported at his home so that, he can give his 100% at work. The same goes with a woman. I'm sure if she receives that support, there should be no reason why she would not get back to work after her maternity leave, or why she would not get back to work, after getting married. So assuming all these things, women are not given opportunities. But I've noticed that if given an opportunity, I don't
They're
think
surely
anyone
going to.
regrets giving a woman that opportunity. They're excellent workers.
Ma'am, what according to you should be filling the sentence that behind every successful woman, who is there? Who will be behind a successful woman?
I think I just said that behind every successful would be a tribe.
Family.
Like would be a tribe. It has to be a full army, and that is behind every successful person. Again, I would say your colleagues, your parents, if you're married, your in-laws or your husband or your partner, your children, can be a really big support if they actually understand and appreciate that my mother goes to work, my mother is a working woman. I think that can make a world of difference. Yeah, entire system, a support system. I think it's very important for women to, uh, uh, focus on building an entire ecosystem for them to flourish at work. A lot of women are ambitious, but I think it's also at the same time to, give justice to that ambition, to, make your aspirations come true. You have to focus and invest that time in building relationships. If you're leaving your children at home with your mother-in-law, it's very important for you to have a very good relationship with your mother-in-law. I think that little time is needed to, invest into that relationship, build that relationship. Or if you're relying on external childcare, it's very important to, have those things right. Whereas, you can't be at work and you left your child somewhere and you're thinking, is my child safe? Or, all these things.
You can't give your 100% in the
give your
work.
100%. So the building an ecosystem is very important, be it with your family and also with your colleagues at work. So like, who can make up for you if you need to leave? If your child is sick, for example, you need to leave, that there's someone who's going to cover up for you, someone who's going to make it up for your absence, not go and say, look, she's gone again, or something like that.
Yes. Ma'am, in your real life, you have played different roles, be it a daughter, a daughter-in-law, mother, and a wife. So which one is very much closer to you? I know each and every role has got a different aspect.
I would say mother now, because my son is 4 years old now. And I think it's that phase where, he's learning new things. He's starting to talk in full sentences apart from his mother tongue. He's going to school. So I think I'm really enjoying this phase. And yeah, I think being a mother is really, really special.
So how were you before a mother and how are you now after being a mother? What was the change that we can see?
I think I'm more responsible. I've always been slightly carefree because I staunchly believe that, we have one life. Let's try our best not to stress too much and, just be happy and, not stress about too many things. But I think sometimes, that can also border on, being a little too carefree. But I think after having a child, I think I'm more responsible, I think, I'm very responsible about everything which relates to him. I think that would be one change. Like I'm not too carefree about that, which I think, that comes to every mother very naturally.
Yes, that's true. And so lastly, madam, what would be a piece of advice that you'd like to give to the women of our society?
To all the women who might be listening to this, I would just say that never let anyone else determine your worth. Never let anyone else tell you that you can do this or you cannot do this. you should be the judge of what you should be doing or what you are capable of. And women are way more capable of what we think we are capable of. And, like I was giving the Nilaswara example, I did not know anything about the play. I did not know anything about plays. I've never even seen many plays. And a lot of people said, you don't know. It emiti habbani. But, I quietly ignored that. And, I had a vision and I gave my 100% to make that vision come alive on a stage. And that worked. So to all the women, you can do it. Give your 100%. Do something you're passionate about. That always helps. And just don't let anyone else belittle you or tell you what you can do or what you cannot do. Uh, it's cliched, but yes, believe in yourself, because that belief is very important. Love yourself. If you do not believe in yourself, trust me, it reflects. And the other person will not believe in you, the person in the front. And if you do not love yourself, then how do you expect others to appreciate you? So just be happy and go for your dreams. You want to work, you don't want to work, whatever it is. I'm sure every woman is doing something really, really inspiring in their lives. Be it, you can do it. Just believe in yourself, and whatever you're doing, you give it your 100%. And I can give it in writing that 99.9% you will be successful.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sparing your valuable time. I know despite of your busy schedule, you have accepted my invitation to take a session to answer my few questions. And I know your time is very precious and I don't want to take much of your time today. But as this segment is women in management, as we were having a telephonic conversation, we are bringing out a special issue in our journal, madam, that is InterScience Management Review. And may I request you to contribute an article towards this?
I would love to. And it was lovely talking to you. And
thank you, ma'am.
Wishing you and all the students who would be watching this all the very best. And I'll definitely contribute the article. It was lovely.
And I believe this session of us, our viewers will be very much benefited, and we will also be able to know what women are and where women should be. Thanks a lot, madam.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.